Hey guys, so today we're checking out the Red Rock 4x4 Hood Catch Kit in black aluminum fitting all 2007 to 2018 JK Wranglers. So if you are experiencing hood flutter with your JK or you're just looking to freshen up the look of your hood, this option by Red Rock 4x4 is going to do a great job at that. Now this choice by Red Rock is going to completely replace the factory hood latches, which can sometimes get faded from the sun and UV rays. They can wear out and the hood catch can actually stretch out, causing that hood flutter, which is very distracting, especially when you're driving. Now these will be made of an aluminum material, being a lot more solid than the factory plastic and the factory rubber, making sure that the hood is shut and stays shut. And this is also going to be adjustable. This will come with 2 heim joints on either of the hood latches, and it's going to come with a turnbuckle in the middle, so you can loosen and tighten it to your preference, making sure that you're totally eliminating that hood flutter that your JK may be giving you. Now these will also have a nice black powder coat finish on top that will protect that aluminum underneath from any corrosion, but it's also going to match with any other black accessories that you have on your Wrangler, and again, freshen up that look from the factory plastics. So what I do really like about these is not only the fact that they are adjustable, but you can pull a pin and you can have full access to your engine bay. These are very easy to use, very easy to operate. And this even comes with a nice steel cable to make sure that that pin is not going to go anywhere. And it's going to have a nice rubber coating on it as well to make sure that that steel underneath is protected. Now with all that being said, this is going to come in at roughly $75, and in my opinion, for an upgrade that is not only going to freshen up the look, but is also going to be very functional, I think that that's well worth the price. Now some other options available on the page may just be a little bit different. Some other choices may bring some more to the table that are going to be a little bit more expensive. They might have a locking feature to them, or they may just be a different finish. So instead of the black that you see here, they may have a stainless steel finish instead. Overall, I personally like the fact that this is going to be adjustable. Some other options available on the page may have the locking feature, but they may not bring adjustability to the table. I personally, again, really like this choice. The hood flutter issue is definitely a thing with JKs, and the fact that this is going to eliminate that while giving you a pretty good look in the meantime, definitely think that that's well worth the price again. Now, as far as installation is concerned, this is going to be very easy to install on either side. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you roughly 30 minutes with some very basic hand tools. So speaking of the install, let's jump into that now. The tools that I used for my install were a 13mm wrench, a 3/8 inch drive and 1/4 inch drive ratchet, a 13 and 10mm deep socket, a 6, 5 and 4mm Allen socket, a 3-inch extension, and a 5mm Allen key. The first step of our install is to open up our hood, and we're going to remove the top part of our hood latch. In order to take off the top part of our hood latch here, there are 2 10mm nuts. I'm going to use a 10mm deep socket and a 1/4 inch drive ratchet to remove those. After those are off, you can just pull back on the latch and we can put this to the side. Now the bottom part of our hood latch may be a little bit difficult to see, but if you follow the hood latch directly on the other side, there's going to be a 13mm nut. I'm going to use a 13mm deep socket in order to squeeze in there and take that off. Once that is off, we can pull this back just like we did with the top. So before we hop into the install of our new hood latch, I did want to stop down and tell you guys a little bit more about them and what benefits that you're going to see, some of the differences and similarities that you're going to see to the factory hood latch. Now, as you can see, just a brief overview of our factory hood latch. This is made of a plastic material. Now this is going to be great for stock applications. However, they do end up wearing out over time. Not only the plastic fades, but the actual rubber piece that keeps the hood down does stretch out over time, and this can cause that hood flutter that you may be experiencing. Now, when moving over to this new option, this is going to be an all metal construction. So this is mainly going to be made of an aluminum construction. So it's going to be lightweight, it'll be durable, and it's going to be a lot more sturdy than the plastic hood latch that we have here. Now this is also going to have a Heim joint with a turnbuckle in the middle, so you will be able to adjust this to your personal preference on where you want your hood to sit, and that's going to get rid of all of the hood flutter. And I do like the fact that this also comes with a nice black powder coat on top that's going to protect the aluminum underneath from any rust or corrosion, and it is going to be adjustable like I said before. Now there is going to be a quick release pin as well, so it's going to be incredibly simple in order to open up your hood, just like it was with the factory one. All you have to do is press down on that pin. It's going to be a spring release, and that's going to release that turnbuckle in order to open up the hood. Then you can put that right back in to close it up, and then you're all set to go. Now this is going to be connected by a steel cable, so that is going to stay on there for a very long time, especially because there is a rubber coating on there to protect the steel underneath from any rust or corrosion. And this is also going to come with gaskets to make sure that the metal is not going to scratch or scuff your paint, and all the hardware that you need to install it. So speaking of that install, let's jump into that now. So I'm going to be installing the top portion of our hood latch first. We're going to take the provided bolt, flat washer, and nylon lock nut and put that through. Now I'm also using the gasket that's included in the kit. So once the bolt is through, we can line that up with our hood. That should stay in place for a minute. We can grab the flat washer and nylon lock nut, thread that on, and then we can do the same thing for the other bolt. This one at the top is going to have two, just like our factory one did. So next we can tighten it down. I'm going to use a 4mm Allen socket, and I'm also going to use a small extension just to give myself some room because this part of the hood latch is raised, and then a 10mm socket for the other side. We can tighten that up. Same thing for the other bolt. So in order to fit the bolt in and tighten it down, we do need to take the turnbuckle off. I'm going to take a 6mm Allen socket and just loosen up this bolt here. Now that's going to release these two little spacers. We can put that to the side. Those are going to sit in between the turnbuckle. So now with our gasket, and put that on, and we can take the two alignment pins and line that up with the factory location. We can take the provided bolt and put that through. Now we can take our provided washer and nylon lock nut and thread that on. Now this is going to be a pretty tight fit. So this part may be a little bit difficult to see, but right in the factory location, we're going to thread that on. Then we can tighten that up with a 5mm Allen socket or Allen key, depending on if it fits or not. Looks like our Allen socket will fit. And then we can take a 13mm socket or 13mm wrench for the other side. I'm going to use a socket. So I got it started with a socket, but you may need to use a Allen key in order to fully tighten it down. Now after the bottom part is installed, what we can do is add our small spacers and reinstall our turnbuckle. So I'm going to put the one spacer over the bolt in the back, put the other spacer in with our bolt just to hold it in place. We can wedge our turnbuckle in between. Might be a little bit difficult, kind of have to mess with it at first just because this does move back and forth, but once that is through, we can tighten that up with a 6mm Allen socket. Now this bolt should be sitting flush with the hood latch, so we're going to tighten it up. Just going to use my ratchet to continue to tighten it. So once that's tightened up, we can repeat that process on the other side. What we can do now, since both sides are installed, is close up the hood and we can install our turnbuckle. So our hood has struts on it, so it's pushing up a little bit. You may have to loosen this up. That's exactly what they're here for. And then we can tighten it down in just a second. Now one side is going to be reverse thread, so just keep that in mind. And we can take our pin, put that through, line up our turnbuckle. Once that's in, we'll be able to adjust that in just a second after we do the other side. Adjusting the turnbuckle comes down to your personal preference and where you want your hood to sit. If you don't want that flutter, you're gonna need to tighten it up. So again, these are a reverse thread. So in order to tighten it down, you will have to loosen it. Once it's where you want it, you can tighten up the jam nut. And I'm using a 13mm wrench for this. So that's not gonna have any hood flutter anymore. And then we can do the same thing on the other side and you'll be all set to go. So that is going to wrap it up for my review and install. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos and products just like this, and always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.